which
Oh
is
man,
awesome.
I'm gonna go ham with the Sky Golem.
Right.
Absolutely.
The whole reason we took engineering, buddy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go ham with delves, Scott? You mentioned delves.
Yeah.
That might be your jam. What had you excited when they kind of showed off some of that stuff?
I want to first make sure that I'm making a fair comparison. Delves are sort of analogous to lost sectors in Destiny, right?
Yeah.
I guess that would sort of
Yeah.
more or less.
In a way.
Like
So
open world.
it's like a
Yeah.
mini dungeon, sort of.
Mhm.
But I think it's a cool concept, man. It's a PvE part of the game that isn't that time consuming. At least it sounds like. And there's a lot of flexibility with it. You can do it with just by yourself, without two people. There's the hero is a cool feature, Tom. I think it's a lot akin to the Jesus droid in SWTOR. That goes through instances. It tanks, it heals, it DPSs, whatever you want it to do.
Totally.
So that's just another layer of fun. It's not game breaking. It's not like this revolutionary thing, but it's fun. So for me, that's a PvE thing that I can do. That's not really that time consuming and it's still fun.
I'll do a rundown and kind of what it is, and then I'll let some of you other guys jump in. So, yeah, delves are like an open world, bite-sized content. You kind of mentioned it a little similar to dungeons. However, they mentioned they're going to be able to do some even cooler things, like maybe make more puzzle-heavy, instances. It's not always going to be fight a big bad boss, So I liken it to like Guild Wars 2 heart missions, like all different. It's technically open world because it's seamless when you enter the delve. And I just think that is incredibly smart to start making more content for probably the majority of your player base at this point, more casual players who want to spend time in the open world. I can see this being a gameplay loop for me as well. When I'm not doing PvP and, I don't want to go and look for a dungeon group or go into LFG or, LFR. I don't want to, if I don't want to do that, this is something you can do with, like you said, solo, because it adds this companion for you that you can gear out to help you, or you can go in with 5 players.
Which is a hero that we've seen in the game, so that's cool.
Yeah.
They said the first one is Bran.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
what I
what
like
were you
about
guys? Yeah, go ahead, Coltrane.
Well, it gets me out in the world. And I'm going to be able to do content out in the world. I'm not just sitting in the main city queuing in Dungeon Finder. And I just do dungeon after dungeon after dungeon to complete the little daily, and then I get some gear, or I'm just sitting in the city just queuing. I'm actually out in the world. I'm exploring. I'm with my friends or I'm by myself, and that already is huge. Get me out there. Get me out there in the wilderness. Let me explore. Let me see these zones. Let me be immersed. And I love that it's seamless, like you mentioned. I love that it's seamless. You just kind of see this cool little area, and they're going to walk in, and suddenly this music is going to go and like that. And they're going to start hearing NPCs talking. And I'm like, oh, this must be a delve. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So I was jazzed. When it was first announced, I was like, what is this? Like scenarios or whatever? But it's not. It's something different that's really cool. And it's also evergreen, which means this is a permanent fixture in WoW going forward. And they did so much of that with BlizzCon. They introduced so many evergreen features, not just features or systems that are only going to be in one expansion and then they go away. This is going to be in WoW going forward, which I think is huge and a big thing that players have really wanted. There were 3 words they kept saying: respect players' time. And that is so prevalent in all the new systems and everything they're adding in World of Warcraft going forward. From the delve system to the war bands to the different options that they're bringing. They're respecting players' time. For the first time, they're letting us choose. Ian Hazukosa said, we cannot wait to get these hero talents and get it into alpha and beta and get your feedback and test this stuff out. They've never really kind of said that. Like they've always kind of had this thing of like, we know what's best. All right. We're Blizz devs. Like you think you want it, but you don't. And like, we're kind of, but now they're like, no, we want to respect players' time. Give us feedback because they've seen what's happened. The numbers have gone down and there's been so much hype on this BlizzCon. Numbers are shooting up. And I think they've made a definite change at Blizzard, and the players and our feedback is being respected now and we're being listened to. And that's what War Within is. And that's why I'm so hyped for this new expansion.
Yeah, and Chase, I know you're out here drinking your coffee, hunting some turkeys in the morning.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
jumping in, you're jumping out. Is this the type of gameplay that sounds appealing as someone who can, hey, these are short, I can jump in, I can get some cool rewards, I can get some story because it's attached to the seasonal model, so there's going to be a progression in the story. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it is. Truthfully, that's been my biggest, concern in going back to the days of when I played it, at an addiction level. And the 3 years and 3.5 years that I played, it does give me that, okay, I can play this in spurts, like not just having to just all in, like, and go, okay, after work, I'm going to have to knock out 3 hours in the day just to get somewhere in the game, and I got to prepare for a giant raid or whatever it is, it's okay, go in, do some things, get out, and I think that's nice that they're considering that they're being considerate of those players, of us, essentially. I mean, as I know more of us have other, more time than others, but I think just knowing that kind of makes me go, I could give this a shot again. And in fact, it has me installing, World of Warcraft right now, just to be totally into it.
There it is.
I know. I'm installing the free version, the starter edition.
Perfect.
Just gonna start there. Gonna start there.
Oh,
but
boy.
It has me.
What have I done?
It has
But
begun.
no. But truthfully though, it has me considering it because I've had such an enjoyable time in New World, and then also sidebarring with other games. I think it's just, again, it goes back to having balance, and I think they're seemingly tapping into those just that don't have the time.
Yeah. Respecting your time has not been synonymous with the World of Warcraft
It has not.
experience as of late. So it
No.
does seem like people voting with their dollars, maybe subs being down, maybe signaling to them, hey, something's got to change. And to be fair to them, they're doing it, it seems like. So just to wrap up Dells before we get out of here, the coolest thing that I thought about the Dells is the actual rewards. I mean, they're saying you're going to get mythic, like level 1 to 15, type rewards in here. Like, this is like serious in-game starter or even in-game rewards. I mean, it's significant, right, Coltrane? I mean, you run keys, right? And think of getting this kind of stuff from open world. Isn't that a pretty cool thing for the average player?
Absolutely. And it's amazing that you can just do something that's fun just with a few of your buddies and you can still get like amazing loot. Like when you're a raider, you feel this pressure that I have to run keys. I've got to run a plus 15, a plus 17, a plus 18 to qualify. And there's a lot of people that raid that don't really like doing mythic dungeons,
Right.
So this is just another aspect that they can do that might be more fitting, that they might enjoy, and they can still get that great gear, still contribute to the raid. Again, respecting players' time, giving you options, see what you like and play and get gear and get loot.
Yeah.
Delves on the surface don't seem that special, but I think it's a cool feature moving forward in the commute to the outdoor world and giving regular players good rewards. It's just